श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं खलु शायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलं नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते। सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथस्वामि नयनपथगामि भवतु मे। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयं। भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दं। भूमस्वखलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनं त्वय्यजातयपराधानां त्वमेव शरणं प्रभु। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्या च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ति हृदये संवित्तं नृसिंहमहं भजे। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यप्रभु नित्यानन्द गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Should I use my internet? No, I think it's okay. Morning little data got used. I hope it will be done, otherwise it will go into the extra data, no problem. So we just started chapter number 9 yesterday. A person, if he is attached to any particular thing in this material world, that particular attachment will become the cause of his misery. And being free from that attachment, one will be freed from all kinds of anxiety, and then he can be placed in happiness. He gives an example of a hawk who once got a flesh to eat, but he saw a group of hawks, they are coming and they might attack him anytime, so he left the flesh for those hawks and then he left, because if he had hung on to that particular flesh, then he would have lost his life. So if any person has this kind of a mentality, oh, this has been hard earned by me, oh, this is my thing, and then if he is overly attached to it, then that attachment will certainly become cause of his anxiety at one point of time, and that anxiety will never let him sleep peacefully. He will be always in worry, tension and unhappy state. Whereas the moment he gives up such attachment, he will be very peaceful. And the other thing he said is what he learned from a child. A child, he is free from any desire of getting respect from others or disrespect or hearing good or bad about him. He is not, he is free from all those things. And he does not have any responsibilities of wife and children. So, thus, he wanders very freely without worrying about anything. In a similar way, sadhu is like that child. He does not have any possessions, he does not have any anxieties, and he has no desire of fame or dishonor from anybody. We heard the story of Param Gurudev when he went to Govardhan Piri in Medinipur, when everyone saying that you should not go there. We heard in English class or in Hindi class? No, English. English. So when everyone was saying that he is a miserly man, he will not give money, then and on the contrary, he might disrespect, he may not honor you properly. Then our Param Gurudev told, sadhu is free from all those things. A sadhu does not care whether he will get honor or dishonor from anyone. Being freed from all those things, he will go from place to place with our Mahaprabhu also in his Shikshashtaka, he says this only, that you should not expect respect from others, but you should give due respect to everyone. So this is possible when our mind becomes very, very simple. When the mind is in a complicated state, or when the mind is designated so-called material designations, I am such and such, I am an engineer, or I am this, I am that, I am a rich man, I am a beautiful man or woman. If we have all these designations, then we will have arrogance. But a sadhu is free from all these things, therefore he does not care for such honor or dishonor from anyone, and he has no anxieties, responsibilities of family, and therefore he wanders freely. So then he says that a person who is either fully foolish in this material world or a person who is completely fixed in transcendental state, only these two persons can be happy. All others are in trouble always. A person who is like a balya svabha, like a small childish, childlike a person, and then he has no knowledge, he is foolish, he is happy. Knowledge sometimes gives trouble. We heard also before that when we know that this is a snake and if it bites it is poisonous, then only we become fearful of it. Otherwise, okay, something you'll not really care for it. But if you are knowledgeable of it, then the fear comes. So as we grow, we get so much of gradually we get trained in this material knowledge, and more knowledge, more fearful. And a person who is free, now we cannot go and put our hand in the fire, but a child can go and put the hand in the fire because he is free, he is foolish. But that foolishness, is saying that, either that or a person who is fixed in transcendental state, he is free from all kinds of anxieties, and then he will be in bliss. Now then we just started the story of a young girl who was of the age of a marriage. When her parents were away for some other activity elsewhere, then a few persons came to her house, and then she welcomed all of them nicely. She gave them a place to sit, and then she gave water. So this is the culture that we should respect, we should welcome the guests. So in such a way she had welcomed all the guests. Tosham abhyavaharartham शालीन रहसि पार्थिव अवग्नन्त्याः प्रकोष्ठस्थान अश्चक्रहु शंखाः स्वनं महत्. हे राजन, उक्त कुमारी अतिथिगणेर भोजनार्थ शालिधान्य कूटने प्रवृत्ता हईले हस्तस्थित शंख मलय समूहेर परस्पर आघाते महाशब्द होते लागलो. So she gave water and seat for all these persons, and then she said that I will prepare nice food for all of you. So this is the culture, this is the tradition, that if anyone comes to our house, then in India there is a saying that Atithi Devo Bhava. Person who comes without Atithi means, Atithi actually means guest, but Atithi also means, or guest here means, a person who comes without prior intimation. That is called Atithi. Nowadays, I am coming to your house, please prepare something, I am coming. Or then we will be prepared. But Atithi, actually, Tithi means a date. Atithi means without a date. A person who comes without a date suddenly is Atithi. And earlier days, that is what the case was. Like nowadays, we have phones, we have airplane. We'll send the ticket on WhatsApp. This is my flight ticket. I am coming this flight. Come to the airport and receive me, or send a vehicle receive me. So these days, this is the communication is so wide and strong. But earlier days, it was, they used to come either by walk, they used to come by bullock cart, or like this. They used to, and there was no information. They can come and present themselves in front of you. And that time, people were also very patient. Now, even after so much information, these days we become impatient. Okay, let us bring from outside. We will order in the hotel, bring all these items to the, we will not prepare also. These days everything is fast, fast foods. We make a phone call to the hotel that you please give rice, Zomato, whatever it is. Give rice, roti, chapati, sabji, dal, and two of what do you call, sweets. We order everything and then we ourselves, okay, and we tell our housemate, you clean this, you do this, and I will just watch TV. This is the receive. This is how we receive guests these days. But in those days, even though the guest used to come without any prior intimation, they used to become very happy exclusively, and then they used to make all the preparations. So here, this girl also was, so many persons came, no information that this many persons will also come. She was alone at the house. So she went inside the kitchen, and then she wanted to prepare some rice, but saw that there is no rice available. So there was some, rice with husk, the husk, a shell, on the rice there is a covering, I don't know what you call. It's husk, it is called. You understand what is, right? In our language it's called dhanya. In India it's called dhanya. Dhanya means rice is chawal, and dhanya means with that husk. So that, in earlier days, what they used to do is they used to beat that in order to remove the husk and separate the husk from the rice. So they used to, everything they used to prepare at house those days. These days everything is operated by machines, and then so much of inorganic stuff is going on, and that's why we are also suffering from so many kinds of diseases. Whatever diseases we are hearing these days, if we speak to our grandparents, they will laugh at us. What is this? What is the name of this disease? Coronavirus? What is this? They will simply laugh at us. Because they have not seen all these nonsensical diseases and so many kinds, These days people are sitting in front of the computer, they have problem on these nerves, they have this nerve problem and sciatic problem, this problem. New problems are getting invented. There are so many specializations in the doctors also. Earlier, one doctor used to treat all the diseases, but now there is one doctor for the eye, one for the ear, one for the nose, one for the mouth, one for the tongue, one for the throat. You have one for the hair fall also, you have a doctor. In our parts, we have in the body that many doctors. And not only that, not that many, in that also there are further specializations. In the bone also there are specializations, neuro plus, what do you call, ortho. Ortho is separate, neuro is separate, but neuro-ortho, another branch is coming. There are so many divisions and subdivisions, but still problems are decreasing. Problems are only increasing. Those days, everything was automatic. They used to do, no yoga was to be taught. Whatever householdly activities that they were doing, that itself was yoga. People used to wash the outside of the house, they used to put gobar dung. They used to clean with the gobar dung so that no virus will come. Actually, these things free everyone from viruses and everything. When the living becomes very organic and natural, then these things cannot come, because we are exploiting the nature, then there will be a reaction to it. So many, if you see some articles on the paper these days, I read that earth is trembling less these days. I don't know if you read that or not. The trembling on the earth has reduced now, because the movement on the globe is not there. People are rushing on the vehicles, this, that, so many things are happening. Now on the earth, the trembling is noticed much less compared to the other days during this, coronavirus. And I also heard that the birds and these things, they are now living very peacefully. They are flying very peacefully. There is no disturbance from the traffic. There is no air pollution. Humans are not chasing after them. They are very peaceful. So this only says that as we exploit nature, nature will come back on us at one point of time. You cannot say that why it is happening. It is happening because of our own doing, actually. So the natural style of living is always better. In the previous days, the way the people used to live, that was the best way to live. And exercise was automatic. Women folk, they used to wake up early in the morning. They used to, wash the in front of their house with water, and then they put the gobar, cow and all these things. And the cooking used to be using cow dung or wood, not gas, whatever, kerosene, all these things, these artificial, all these things, material, inorganic materials, they have come, but wood is organic. They used to prepare even food using the organic things for the fuel. And cow dung, with the cow dung, they prepare slates of the cow dung, and they used to fire with that. So this way, the Vedic living was very congenial to not only health but also to the intelligence. When the body is provided with all these nonsensical stuff, the mind will automatically become polluted. When our style of living, way of living is in Sattva Guna, then the mind will also be situated in Sattva Guna. The mind will also be situated in that, and the intelligence will also be Guna. Then our thinking will be appropriate. But now, constantly in the Rajoguna and Tamoguna, we are running here and there for pleasing our senses. Then mind and intelligence, all these things will automatically become dull towards anything that is of mode of goodness. So, coming back to the story, this young girl, she saw that there is no rice available, so she started grinding the husk, that the husk separates from the rice. And actually she was wearing bangles and bracelets. Those bracelets were made of small conch shells. You have seen small conch shells. So the bangles are prepared out of those small conch shells. So this young girl was wearing so many bangles or bracelets of the conch shells, and then when she was grinding it, because of the movement of the hands, they were making a lot of noise. The bangles were making a lot of noise. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, বাড়ির লোক কখন আসিবে কখন চাউল তৈরি করিবে এই মনে চিন্তা করিয়া সেই বালিকা অতিথি সেবার জন্য গৃহমধ্যে চাউল তৈরি করিতে আরম্ভ করিল, কিন্তু তাহার হস্তস্থিত শঙ্খ বলয় কঙ্কণাদি উচ্চ শব্দ করতে লাগল. So she was thinking that now all my parents are gone out, when will they come back and when will they prepare rice, and till then the guests will have to wait. So it is not appropriate that I keep them waiting for such a long time. So let me prepare something for these guests. So she went inside to find that there was no rice available to cook. Therefore she started to dehusk the rice. And then while doing so, her, the bracelets and the bangles that she was wearing, they started to make, sound because of the banging of those bangles among each other. Sa tajjashu तज्जशुप्सितं मत्वा महती व्रीडिता ततः वभञ्जैकैकशः शङ्ख्वान् द्वौ द्वौ पाण्यौरशेषयत् धान्यकुट्टन् दारिद्र्येर पारिचायक सूत्रांग अतिथिगणेर निकटो नितांत निंदाजनक मने कोरिया बुद्धिमती कुमारी लज्जाय हस्त होते क्रमशः समस्त बलय अपसारित कोरिया प्रति हस्ते दुई दुईटी अवशिष्ट राखिल. So now she saw that lot of noise is coming from the bangles. So then when this noise reaches the the persons who are sitting outside, they will know that, oh, probably there is no rice available, therefore this poor girl is doing all these things. And they might think that, oh, they may be very, very poor also because nice rice is not available, fine rice is not available, therefore this girl to do all these things. So they might know. Therefore, let me remove the bangles. She has removed all the bangles because by the noise they will come to know something is happening inside. And she was not an escapist. That, oh, okay, now I can make an excuse that there is no rice in the house, therefore I cannot prepare, you go to some other house. Not like that. So she was very intelligent. Therefore, rather than trying to indicate them that there is no rice available, she had removed the bangles except for two. That's a decoration for the girls. So she left two bangles on each of those hands. उभयोरप्यभूत घोषो ह्यवग्नन्त्याः स्वशङ्खयो तत्राप्येकं निरभिद अदेकम् अस्मान्नाभवत् ध्वनिः. अनंतर धान्यकूटने प्रवृत्ता हইলে পুনরায় ওই উভয় শঙ্কের পরস্পর আঘাতে শব্দ হইতে লাগিল. তখন তথা হইতে এক একটি অপসারিত করিয়া প্রতি হস্তে একটি মাত্র অবশিষ্ট রাখিলে শব্দ নিবৃত হইয়াছিল. So then she started again beating the husk to remove the rice out of it. But then she saw that even these two bangles are also fighting among each other, or they are banging among each other, and that's also making sound. So then she thought, okay, let me remove at least one, let only one be there. So she removed one bangle from each of those hands, and then she saw that there is no sound. The bangles are not making any sound because only one is there. How can it make sound? Shla Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, সেই বালিকা তখন মহালজ্জায় পড়িল, কারণ ধান্য কুটিয়া তন্দুল তৈরি করা দারিদ্র্যের সূচক ও নিন্দনীয়. So this young girl, she became very ashamed that now I start beating the husk to prepare rice, and then to bring out rice and then prepare it for all of them. It's very shameful that guests have come and then we don't have any thing ready, and also it also indicates that they are very, very poor. So she was little shameful, she was feeling shameful. সেই মহাবুদ্ধিমতী বালিকা এক এক করিয়া হস্তের কঙ্কণগুলি খুলিয়া দুইটি করিয়া মাত্র রাখিল. তখন তাহাতেও শব্দ হইতেছে দেখিয়া এক একখানি মাত্র রাখিল, তখন আর শব্দ হয় না. So then let me remove these bangles. So she removed bangles from both the hands excepting two on. But then she saw that even that is also making sound. Therefore now she had removed one from each, means she was only wearing one bangle on each of those hands. Then it stopped making further noise. अन्वशिक्षमिमं तस्या उपदेशं मंदिरं मरिन्दं लोकान् अनुचरेणातान् नेतान् लोकतत्त्व विवित्सया। हे बुद्धि वैसे हे রিপু দমন, আমি লোকচরিত্র শিক্ষার জন্য পৃথিবীতে সর্বত্র পরিভ্রমণ করিতে করিতে নিজ চক্ষে প্রত্যক্ষ করিয়া কুমারীর নিকট হইতে ইহা শিক্ষা করিয়াছি। So then Avadhuta Brahmana is telling to Yadu, my dear king, in order to receive, I study the character of all the persons, so that I try to learn some lesson from each one of them. So it is there in my nature that I study the character of every person so that I can learn something out of it. So this is the character of a person who is bhavagrahi, who is grahi, who can take essence. So he sees everyone not with a defective eyes, but with an eyes of a disciple, that now I want to learn something. What is the best I can learn from this person? So this Avadhuta Brahmana is telling that I have this nature of seeing the character of every person. Therefore, for that reason I wander everywhere. Because one of the questions that he asked was, Yadu, that you are not doing any activity, even though you are very young and seem to be very stout and powerful, still like a foolish man, like a small boy, you are wandering here and there. What is the reason for this? Why are you not doing any activity? His question was, why are you not doing any activity? So he is asking, I am wandering here and there with a purpose. What is that purpose? I want to study everyone and then try to learn something from them. That is why Guru Maharaj often used to say, only a sadhu can understand the activities of another sadhu. We may see some person, oh, why are this person doing like this? We may become, we may not be able to understand what that person was doing or trying to do. But a sadhu, because he has a purified vision, he can see what is the purpose. But our vision is completely faulty. Therefore, because Guru Maharaj also used to say this, that we see others according to our mind. Actually, whatever is inside our mind, we see a reflection of it in others. We are defective, we have defects, but we see those defects only in others. But actually, others don't have that defect, because my way of looking at those things is defective. It appears that it is defective. Just like, they give an example of wearing a red glass, then you will see everything red. If you wear an yellow glass, you see everything yellow. In a similar way, if you see with the defective eyes, then you see everything to be defective. That is not what a saintly person does. A sadhu never does with that purpose. And also, why a sadhu is going from one place to another? He is giving a reason that I am going in order to learn lessons from everyone, not to teach, not to give instructions to everyone. I want to learn. Karite karite nijo chakhe pratyakha koriya. So with my own eyes I have seen this incident when these persons went as guests in the house of that young girl. What was happening inside I have seen with my own eyes. वासे बहुनां कलहो भवेद्वार्ता द्वयोरपि एक एव वसेत तस्मात् कुमार्या इव कंकणः। अनेक पुरुषेर एकत्र वसकाले कलह एवं दुई व्यक्तिर एकत्र वासे परस्पर नाना विषयेर प्रजल्प হয় বলিয়া কুমারীর শঙ্ক বলের ন্যায় একাকী অবস্থান করিবে। So what lesson I have learned from this? He is telling that if there are too many persons at one place, then there is going to be fight. Just like the bangles, they were all at one place, then they make a lot of noise. There is too much fight. And if two persons are there, then there is always gossip. two bangles are there, there is always gossip. Oh, did you see that? Oh, did you? Many persons fight, two persons gossip. So he is telling that from this particular incident, what lesson I learnt is, it is better to stay alone. If we stay alone, then there is no disturbance. So he is telling that Nana Bishayar Prajalpa, not only one subject matter. We keep on gossiping about so many subjects. Material subjects are variety in number, and one after another, one first time food, then dress, then sari, then bangles, then cosmetics, then earth, then coronavirus, then so many points of discussion on the earth. We have innumerable things to gossip about, but none of them are of any use. All of them are useless. So he's telling that by personally witnessing what has happened with that, and how that girl is intelligent by removing bangles in order to make less noise, from this also one can learn a lesson. That's what he is telling, that I see the characters of a person, I see what is going on around me, and as I want to learn something, therefore I see that what is the best lesson I can learn out of it. If we have such a vision that how can what is the lesson that I can learn out of it, then we can see Guru's presence everywhere. Guru is present everywhere. He is omniscient. He is omnipresent. He knows everything and he sees everything. And he is present everywhere. But because of our limited knowledge of the senses, we are not able to perceive that unlimited object, Supreme Lord and his personal associates. Nobody can deny the fact that our revered Gurudev is here. He is also somewhere around the corner. But we are not able to see him directly because our eyes are not eligible to do so. On the days of Gurudev, on the days of the Lord's appearance, like what do you call Janmashtami or Ramnavami or things like that, Guru Maharaj used to speak like this, that today is the holy appearance day of Lord Sri Krishna. It is not that the Lord had appeared and then he is gone now. He is even making the pastimes of appearance today. Today he is also appearing in the heart of a sincere surrendered soul. That can be anyone here. He used to say, not me, but that can be anyone here. Because in the heart of a surrendered soul, the Lord will make appearance. But we have no vision to see. Therefore, we will not be able to find out where that Lord is. But even today, the Lord is making the pastimes of his appearance, making the performing so many other pastimes in this material world. Therefore, Guru is in a similar way present everywhere. But now, whether we are able to perceive his presence or not depends upon how much of surrender mood we have towards him. So here, he as a perfect learner, he is observing the characters of every person, and then he is learning a lesson even from this young girl who had gone inside and so intelligently had removed the bangles. He was learning from her also. Srila Prabhupada writes in the commentary, एकेर अधिक व्यक्तिर विभिन्न उद्देश्य वशे परस्परेर मध्ये कलह उपस्थित है. There are too many persons sitting, then you see everyone is talking some or other topic, and some other person is saying something, and then he is giving some other argument. And when there are so many persons like that presenting their own ideologies and isms or some other opinions and thoughts, then there will be clashing that is inevitable. Nobody can be in that state for a long time. Immediately the clashes and differences of opinions will definitely come at that place, because everyone is not standing united on one opinion. All of them carry different opinions. So now if all the bangles, they were beating in sync, then there would be only one noise coming. But because of the different movements of different bangles at different point of time, it's making different sounds that are not in rhythmic. So that is very not very pleasant to the ears. So here he is telling that more than one person, means there are many persons sitting together and they are talking about any point, expressing their own particular opinions on that, then definitely at one point fight will come. Kumarir हस्तस्थित कंकण समूह परित्यक्त हइया एक एकटी कंकण मात्र उभय हस्ते थाकिले उहादेर मध्य विवाद जनित ध्वनि देखा जाए ना. But when she has removed all the other bangles and she had kept only two bangles on each of those hands, then that time this kind of too many sounds did not come. Earlier there were too many sounds, too many kinds of sounds, but now when she had removed bangles and was wearing only two, then too many sounds did not come, so there was no clashing. Durjana parityag sarvato bhave vihita. Therefore, the lesson one has to learn from this is that one has to give up unholy association by all means. Unholy means those persons whose opinions are not in favor to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. All of them have different opinions. One say karma is good, one say jnana is good, one say yoga is good, another says something else is good, something says atheism is good, something says my wife is good. All these topics that are not in favor of Krishna Bhakti. Because of too many opinions, too many ideas, and one point of time there is argument. No, Krishna is supreme. Someone says no, Ganesh is supreme. Someone says something else is supreme. They're all only wanting to present their opinion on top of others' opinion, but nobody is a listener there. So here he is telling that always give up unholy association. Don't associate with asadhus, unholy persons. Sarvato bhava means by all means one has to give up this unholy association. Vaishnaver charitra sarvada pavitra. But the Vaishnavas conduct their activities, they are always very, very purifying. যেখানে অবৈষ্ণব সঙ্গ সেখানেই বৈষ্ণব বিদ্বেষ রূপ প্রতিকূল বিচারের ধ্বনি তজ্জন্য একাগ্র হইয়া সকলের ভগবানের উপাসনা করাই বিহিত. So when the Vaishnavas are sitting together with one point to serve Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, then this problem does not come. If there is only one point of concern, singular concern, that how to please Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, that is the point of our discussion, then there cannot be any fight. But when there are differences of opinions, then there is fight. So here he is telling that even sometimes we see in the mutt also there are some certain clashes among people. Why? Because when our knowledge is not purified, when we still have the some inherent motives that I want to be supreme, I want to show my supremacy over others, I want to show that my knowledge is better. In the votaries, in pure devotees it is not possible, but in the votaries, those who are practitioners, those who have not attained that state, because they have these vices in their heart, these there is constant rupture, friction among the other sadhakas also. But the thing is, when one tries to train the mind with the knowledge that the Guru has given, that all of you stay united for singular purpose. Srila Prabhupada's final instruction is that Vishaya Jatiya Vigraha Sri Krishna, in order to serve Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, Ashraya Jatiya Guru, the Sri Guru, to serve Sri Guru who is serving Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, you stay united always. Means in order to serve Sri Guru, in order to preach the message of Rupa and Raghunatha, always stay enthusiastic and stay united. So if the purpose is to serve Sri Guru, then it will be united. Just like we heard the other day on the disappearance of our Gurudev, that everyone, they were unitedly at the time Guru Maharaj was, in a few days he is going to depart from this world, everyone, the united effort was on how to serve Sri Guru the best. There was no competition at the time, there were no clashes of various egos there, even though all of us are sadhakas. But in spite of that, there was a singular motive, how together we can please Supreme our Gurudev. Now even at this point of time, when Guru Maharaj is in this situation and then we fight among each other with our opinions, then Guru Maharaj will not be happy. Therefore, that which will not make Guru Maharaj happy, we will not do. Even though there were differences of opinions, definitely they will be there, among the sadhakas it will be there, but still, because the purpose was to serve Gurudev, there was no, there was unity and there was no clashes. But when there are different opinions and differences of opinions, then it becomes completely detrimental to devotion. That's why he is telling that dussanga, bad association, is always to be, rejected. One should stay away from it. Ekagra hoiya shakaler bhagawaner upasana karai vihita. So all of us should one pointedly, with a singular motive, that we want to become worshippers of Krishna. We want to worship Krishna. So in that mood we have to worship the Lord. बहु व्यक्ति एकत्र होइया समताने कीर्तन करले समतानेर व्याघात হয় না. If many persons are sitting together and they are singing kirtan in one tune, then there will not be any clashes, isn't it? When one person is singing in one, another person is singing another tune, another person third tune, then there will be clash. It will be, of course, these days we call it as what? They call fusion. There is a word fusion, bringing too many sounds together and then saying that there's a musical fusion. But anyway, some people will like it. But here it is saying that in the kirtan also, when all of us, even in that fusion actually, in that fusion also the different instruments are used, but they should be in a particular rhythm. If they are in different rhythms, then nobody will like it. If I play some musical saying that this is a fusion that I am making, it becomes nonsense because I have no knowledge of music. I don't know what is rhythm. So I may say that it's a fusion, but actually they are all arrhythmic. They are not in same rhythm, so it will not give any pleasure to anyone. But a person who is a musician, he can do fusion, bringing so many kinds of instruments in a single rhythm, or maybe 2-3 kinds of rhythms with different kinds of instruments. So that way he can do fusioning. So then there is, our Guru Maharaj also used to give an example that kirtan was going on. When kirtan was going on, everyone is singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, some tune. And some persons behind, they are not able to sing, that Maha Mantra, they are singing some other thing. But because of, everyone is singing loudly, it is getting mixed in the tune. It's getting mixed in the tune. So, in that way, when there is a collective sound of Krishna Nam, and within that if there is some little tweaks, then it will not make a big disturbance. But everyone is singing differently, then there is a disturbance. So he is telling that this is not applicable to kirtan. This one has to stay away. Too many bangles together making a lot of noise. The example is given in the sense that a persons with different opinions, when they sit together, then there will be unhappiness, there will be fight, there will be collisions. But when everyone is on a singular path that we want to please Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, then this is not the case. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Kalau Shanga Shaktihi, in Kali Yuga, our strength is in unity. Coming together and performing kirtan, because we have to fight against Maya. Maya is very powerful. If we are alone, singular army to fight Maya, is it possible? Even united, it's very difficult. We need to have a commander-in-chief like Guru Maharaj to fight with Maya. If we want to become commanders also, it will be difficult. We need some persons like Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Gurudev to lead the fight against Maya. So it is in Kali Yuga particularly, Kalau Shanga Shaktihi. In this Kali Yuga, unity is the strength. Unity means not like what politicians speak of unity, not that kind of unity. In Kirtan, Krishna Sankirtan, when we are together, then our minds will be, stable. Because we are sitting alone and chanting Hare Krishna, mind will go here and there. But when we are sitting in the assembly and we are singing with everyone together, even though I am not listening what I am speaking, but what others are speaking, they are chanting loudly Hare Krishna, Kirtan, so that will enter into the ears. When I am chanting, it may not enter because my mind goes elsewhere. But suddenly, when because of the beat, because of something, when my mind immediately comes, then I become attentive in listening to that holy name. Therefore, in this Kali Yuga, association of the saintly persons, in the association of the saintly persons, we have to perform Hari Bhajan. Then that is where we get strength. কিন্তু যে স্থলে অব্যবসায়ী ব্যক্তির বহু উদ্দেশ্য সেখানে সংঘের সাফল্য নাই, but where there are too many persons with too many opinions, there is no success in those meetings. There are so many persons, there are so many meetings happening, but none of those meetings will be successful if it is not for a singular purpose, everyone expressing their opinion and then going back. When I was working in a company, we used to have meetings every week, once in a week or once in 10 days, and those meetings used to be very boring. The company, even though it's on some subject that we are familiar with, but it used to be very boring. This you have to do, this you have to do, we have to show our targets, we have so many things, nonsensical things. And then meeting is for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. After the meeting is finished, what is the conclusion of the meeting? Nobody knows what is the conclusion of it. But one conclusion everyone knows. That is, when are we going to meet next? When is the next meeting? So the conclusion of one meeting is, when is the next meeting? But actually there is no conclusion. So these meetings are going on and on. Actually this is not untrue, this is not false, this is actually truth. That so many meetings are happening, but it's only the end of it, when are we going to meet next? Such meetings are never going to give any fruitful results. उद्योगेर विरोधी व्यक्तिगणे discussions that are pointless, that are not on a singular point, they are useless. With different motives, if there is a meeting, then they are useless, pointless. They are they are not going to give any fruits, but it's only detrimental, just the opposite, because in that meeting we carry some hostile opinions about others. Oh, that person, he had spoken too much about me, I should have spoken to him like this. We just simply carry only hostile opinions after the meeting is finished, because we have different of opinions, and then because of the differences of the opinions, ultimately there will be mind will get disturbed with those things, and a kind of a hostile mentality or some kind of a prejudice that we will develop against other persons. तज्जন্য स्वजातीयाशय लइया भजने एकायन पद्धतिते निर्जनतार लक्षण नत्वा परस्परेर मध्ये विरोध अवश्यम भावी. Therefore he says स्वजातीय आशय, one has to associate with those persons who have same mindset. Mindset is that all of us want to please Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Not with too many different, like there is a saying, right? Birds of the same feather flock together. So we have to meet with those persons who are of a unified opinion, of a singular opinion. That is, we want to serve Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So when we meet with the devotees who are in a unified opinion, even among the devotees also, we have to be very careful on whom we want to associate with, because there are so many kinds of devotees, so many kinds of persons. Not everyone are at the same level. They might have, people like me have taken, the vesh, the dress of a sadhu, but he or she may not be still a devotee. Therefore, we have to be very, very choosy in our association. We have to associate with those persons with whom our mindset means not material mindset, but for spiritual means it matches. So that's called swajatiya. Swajatiya means of the same opinion, devotees of the same opinion. Laya bhajanai ekayan paddhati the, and to perform bhajan in a unified way. Means associating with those persons who have a singular opinion and performing bhajan in a unified way is called nirjan. Nirjan means, you understand nirjan? Nirjan means solitude, where there is nobody. That's called nirjan. But Prabhupada is defining nirjana means that staying with those persons who are of a singular mentality to perform Hari Bhajan and together performing service with a unified effort, that is called nirjan, that is to be in solitude. Understand? So we think that solitude means staying alone from everyone, but no, it is not so. In Kali Yuga particularly, bhajan in solitude is not advocated. Some persons, they came to Guru Maharaj to say that, Guruji, I want to perform Nirjan Bhajan, I want to stay alone and perform Hari Bhajan. Then Guru Maharaj immediately said, in this Kali Yuga, Nirjan Bhajan, Bhajan in solitude is not recommended. Because Kuyogi Vaibhav, we in that state of in the what do you call, in the garb of trying to perform bhajan in solitude, we only try to enjoy our senses. Because in solitude, the mind is not still controlled, the mind is still restless. In that uncontrolled state, the mind thinks of so many things, and then how can, when people are not around, then we are fearless. We can do whatever we want. But when we are in the middle of devotees, then they'll say, hey, what are you doing? Just chant. Why are you wasting your time? But when I am alone, I can do whatever I want. Therefore, in an uncontrolled state of mind, we cannot perform Hari Bhajan in solitude. And a person whose mind is controlled and who has taken the rasa or the mellows of Krishna Bhakti, he will not want to stay alone because he is always liking the company of the devotees. Vaishnava Sangetamon Anandita Anukshan Sada Hoy Krishna Parasanga. In the company of the Vaishnavas, mind is always blissful because there are constant discussions about Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore, a devotee always wants the company of the devotees because together, they are always singing, discussing about Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Whereas people like us, whose mind is not controlled, I want to do Nirjana Bhajan. But Nirjana Bhajan, by performing Nirjana Bhajan, it is like, leaving our mind free to enjoy without any restriction. In the middle of some devotees, at least we will feel shy. We will not do certain things. Okay, what he will say, I am sleeping too much, I am eating too much. Someone will say, why are you eating so much? Or why are you sleeping so much? They may say, at least out of that fear, I will not engage in those. But when I am alone, who is going to see me? I can do whatever I want. So in Nirjan, it's not possible. Therefore, here Nirjan, solitude, Prabhupada is defining as to associate with those persons who have a one opinion, singular opinion about service to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and to be in their company and to be in a unified effort to serve Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That is Nirjan, that is being in solitude. Natva parasparer madhye virod avashyam bhavi. Otherwise, any meeting other than this or any association other than this, there are going to be clashes among each other, which is not going to give any happiness and peace. What is time? 5:30. Oh, okay. Okay, so we will stop here. So this is the lesson that the Avadhuta Brahmana has learned from this young girl. Okay. So we'll continue tomorrow. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha tanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai.